Anelka settings. I'd remove Anelka a bit because he had a good career in it. But yeah, Pepe will look back and could have offered a lot more. Balogun has to return, sell Nketiah, Nelson, Tavares, and bye. Harsh, man. I wouldn't mind if we got decent fees for both Nketiah and Balogun and spent some of that money on Brighton's Ferguson striker option of his and Jesus' profiles might be the way, to be honest. Brighton be silly to let my man go anytime soon, innit? Don't know how Brighton do it, but they've did it again. 87 likes, people. Were very, very close to 100. With that, let's look at what the transfer news is saying, actually. Let's call it 50. Transfer. Please. Let's go over there. Where should we start? Put it over there. Let's start with this, actually, people. Again, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, people. Again, El Nene recently signed a new deal at Arsenal Football Club. 90 Minute are saying, people, Granit Xhaka holds talks with Arsenal over new contract. Arsenal's vice captain Granit Xhaka is keen to extend his stay at the club, and talks have taken place over a new deal. The Switzerland international has managed to completely turn his Arsenal career around over the last couple of seasons. I'm not going to skip this, man. We all know where we're at with him, people. We all know he didn't go to Hertha Berlin. Apparently, he cemented his status as one of the Premier League midfielders, playing a key role in their surprise PL title charge. And sources have confirmed to 90 Minute that Xhaka wants to extend his stay at the Emirates. I mean, he's got the faith of Mikel Arteta. He's loved by the fans now. He's got a young family. They're comfortable in London. He's 30 years of age now. So this is, now you need to ask yourself, do you want to try a new, do you want to go back to Germany? Do you want to try a new league? He's previously said how he used to watch Italian league when he was young. Do you want to stay at the Emirates, which is fine, really, and get some wages? Which is cool, isn't it? You're a valued member on and off the field. I can't disagree with keeping him and El Nene and Jorginho. But what I would say is we need to find the guy better than Granit Xhaka before, he evidently falls off. Get the likes up, people. The conversion rate is looking shaky. One love for that. But yeah, that's it with Granit Xhaka. Apparently, Arsenal consider monstrous offer for Atalanta striker Rasmus Hoijlund, who 20 years of age, Danish international. Well, he's a decent man. He doesn't stand still. He can hold. He can occupy centre backs. He drifts into the channels. Got a decent left foot on him. Scores a decent amount of goals. From what I've seen of the 20-year-old, I'm on it. But do we legitimately want him, or is because we're looking at a striker? And obviously, our scouts should be doing their jobs and being up to date with all the leagues. Has he just flagged up on the radar? But bring him and that centre half Scalvini. But for what it's worth, and I don't really believe any reports out of Italy, but Arsenal are preparing a major offer for Atalanta striker Rasmus Hoijlund, according to reports in Italy. The 20-year-old joined the Serie A side in a 17 million euros brackets 15 million pound deal from Stuttgart last August, and has made an immediate impact during his time in Italy. He's already got 7 goals for Atalanta this season, while he now has 2 caps for Denmark. According to this Italian publication, Arsenal have been keeping tabs on the striker's performances in Serie A this season and are now considering a move for the Denmark international in the summer window. There's reports that Real Madrid president Florentino Perez is also a huge admirer, and the 20-year-old could be viewed as a long-term successor for Karim Benzema. I mean, are you ready for Madrid right now? You see what we're doing with the young players? Come, man. Atalanta remain in a strong negotiating position as they consider Hoijlund a key part of their future plans, while the striker still has 4 years remaining on the contract he signed last summer. So yeah, people, he said he's got similar characteristics to Haaland. He does loosely, but I'm wary of that, really. He's actually he's relatively quick as well. But, his gaffer has said, Hoijlund has this spirit, energy and intensity, but also technical quality that is just remarkable. He still has so much margin for improvement too. He has very similar characteristics to Haaland, not just his face. He's so quick, as I said, DG don't lie to you. I said he's quick. He's so quick. He's under 11 seconds over 100 meters, and that's not even trying very hard. Considering his height, which that's another bonus, he has a low center of gravity, praise his technical level, and can move his legs very fast. I'm convinced he'll have a great career. He just gets stronger every day. Big him up for that. Arsenal are now very likely to sell exceptional player at the end of the season. Sam Preston gassing the thing. But anyways, Nuno Tavares is likely to exit Arsenal permanently during the summer transfer window when his loan at Marseille ends, people. The Sun have reported that the left back is now probably going to be sold by Mikel Arteta when the market resumes at the end of the season. Obviously, Tierney's future is far from certain as well, but I don't think really Tavares should impact it, because until someone can rise up when Tavares has had a great performance defensively for Marseille that stands out as much as when his clips of scoring go viral, it's a myth. We know you used to be a winger. We know you're good going forward, really, but you're not. You can't do what Zinchenko does. You're more wasteful than Tierney. it's a myth, really and truly. But to be fair to him, he has become the first Marseille defender to score 6 goals in a season for 20 years. So hopefully the 23-year-old can convince Arteta and prove me wrong that it can be used here, or we can make some money on that. Sometimes signings go wrong. Just make your bread. From one fullback to another, Arsenal ready to battle to sign fantastic player again after trying to get him on deadline day, people. Actually, let's see the actual source of that, because I have got that here. Arsenal prepare. Sorry, people, I don't want this to keep playing. But Arsenal prepared for transfer battle to sign Ivan Fresnadar as Newcastle joined the race. As you know, Dortmund and Arsenal agreed a move for him in January. For some reason or another, he didn't. And his agent has said 30 clubs have been interested. The Real Valladolid right back is expected to be at the centre of a transfer tussle this summer. Arsenal are in a 4-way fight to sign Real Valladolid right back Ivan Fresnadar this summer. Borussia Dortmund, Juventus and Newcastle are also chasing the 18-year-old who has excelled in Spain this season. Fresnadar was the subject of intense interest in January, but eventually decided to stay at Real Valladolid. The right back will sit down with his reps at the end of the season, and his reps were in London to talk with Arsenal and other clubs in Jan and assess his options ahead of a possible move. Arsenal have been scouting Fresnadar and will continue to monitor him for the rest of the season. Clubs from across Europe have been impressed by his development, but Arsenal, Dortmund, Juventus and Newcastle are currently the 4 front runners. He has a release clause of 26.5 million in his contract, and Real Valladolid will hope to spark a bidding war, which means they can get close to that amount. Arsenal shifted away from their recruitment model in January by bringing in 28-year-old Leandro Trossard and 31-year-old Jorginho, but the club are continuing to scout young talent worldwide. Mikel Arteta has Benjamin White and Tomiyasu as his right-back options, but Fresnadar is regarded as one of the most promising players in Europe. The teenager could have pushed for a move during the January transfer window, but staying at Valladolid has ensured he continues to get regular game time. Can't get onto him for that. Arsenal given major contract boost ahead of Leicester City clash. I mean, we know El Nene signed a new deal. Big him up for that. Who could Arsenal get in the Europa League? That would be interesting to know, because I don't actually know, really. Apparently, Arsenal will discover their Europa League round of 16 opponents on Friday. So I guess we'll do a watch along for that. The draw for the round of 16 takes place at 11 a.m. on Friday. Mikel Arteta's side will be playing away in the first leg because they topped their group in autumn, prevailing against Zurich, Bodo/Grint of Norway and runners-up PSV. They will face the winner of one of the 8 ongoing playoffs between the unseeded sides who finished second in their Europa League group and sides who came third in the Champions League group. Who could they face? Union Berlin or Ajax, Barcelona if they beat Manchester United, Nantes or Juventus, Midtjylland or Sporting, Rennes or Shakhtar, Bayern Leverkusen or Monaco. We could meet PSV again or Sevilla, Roma with Jose Mourinho, and they did win the Conference League last year, or Red Bull Salzburg. Respectfully, Union Berlin quickly, or Michelin. Hopefully Michelin dump out Sporting, Nantes dump out Juventus, Rennes dump out Shakhtar. Back our chances against Monaco, but Leverkusen have been poor this season, so either one really. Sevilla, they got a history with the Europa League, PSV thing. And hopefully Roma go out because Jose knows how to do this thing. Apparently the first and second legs will be played on March the 9th and 16th respectively, people. So we'll have to see how that develops. We've already seen this with Hoijlund. So that's a myth. What's this? Gunners want right back Chelsea sold for 5 million. According to Ben Jacobs in Court of Side, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal and Pep Guardiola, I think they mean Pep Guardiola's City, want to sign Southampton right back Tino Livramento. Quality player, I'm having it. The only thing I could say is injuries. Both our fullbacks in Tomiyasu and Tierney are touch and go where injuries are concerned. And how much would Southampton want for him, people? Apparently Chelsea have a buyback option and they're not expected to do it. And Arsenal have been linked with Livramento before. Livramento is another intriguing option who has had horrific luck with injuries. The 20-year-old was magnificent last season until he picked up a serious ACL injury against Brighton last April and recently suffered another setback this January when returning with the Saints' B team. Chelsea have a buyback option active in 2023, but it's not thought they'll activate it, especially now Gusto has signed from Lyon, and all suitors will obviously have doubts given his, long spell on the sidelines. But Livramento will be monitored when fit with a view to a possible move over the next 2 to 3 windows by both Arsenal and City. So it's not nothing immediate. And if he hadn't suffered his injury, he may already be at one of those 2 clubs already, which is true. If he stays fit, he's a baller, man. You just hope the 20-year-old gets a clean run, man. Once again, Arsenal lead Premier League rivals in race to sign Declan Rice after further encouragement behind the scenes. His precarious contract situation means West Ham are only likely to be able to command a fee of 70 to 80 million. Sources with an understanding of Declan Rice's situation have revealed Arsenal are in sustained contacts with the player's reps ahead of a summer deal and are willing to hand him a long-term contract worth in excess of 200 grand a week. People, 200k, better yet. So draw of that what you will. On the topic with Declan Rice, allegedly he's agreed terms with Arsenal ahead of a summer switch. So if we've agreed terms, we just need to agree a fee with West Ham. Declan Rice will join Arsenal at the end of the season with a 5-year deal agreed between the Gunners and the England international. This is just reiterating everything. Rice is said to be desperate to join the Gunners at the end of the current season, with his desire to play Champions League football as well as his respect for Mikel Arteta, the key reasons behind his decision. We'll have to see. He's got 12 months remaining on his deal. They do have an option of another year, but that does kind of slow down their negotiating hand, people. Arsenal were in love. Sporting director says 89 million player decided not to join the Gunners. Well, you keep playing like this, you're doing us a favour, really. According to Suno, the decision to choose Chelsea over Arsenal was Mudrik's to make, stating the player opted to join the Blues because they paid him what he wanted. Fair enough, man. Pump faked in that. Regarding the transfer proposal, the price was 100 million, 89 million, 70 million euros plus 30. Arsenal were in love with Mudryk, but Chelsea were more concrete and were more ready to buy him. With respect to Arsenal, in the end, it was the decision of Mudryk to make because Chelsea paid him what he wants, and he said he wants to go to Chelsea. It's simple. Fair enough, man. Man said, don't worry about Mudryk. You'll enjoy watching him. This is 35% of Mudryk. He's not playing well. The coach at Chelsea now is not in a good mood, and they're not playing well, but they need time. Mudryk will be okay. Don't worry. Hopefully never. Once again, Arsenal reportedly leading the race to sign Declan Rice. What has Dean Jones said? Arsenal still perhaps slightly ahead of Chelsea simply because of their league position and how advanced their project is comparative to Chelsea. Rice, I'm told, would quite like to stay in London. So Chelsea and Arsenal makes sense. An opportunity there compared to, say, Man United or even Newcastle United. I don't think he goes Newcastle, but who knows? They've got an exciting project. Jamie Carragher has praised the Napoli guy, Kvaratskhelia, as the most exciting player in Europe. He missed a penalty the other day, but other than that, he's going to cost a lot of money, and he cost 10 million. Where was Arsenal and everyone else? Yesterday, you all saw Mohamed El Nene extended his contract with Arsenal until June 2024, people. He's currently out with a knee injury. According to Mark Bryans, apparently he said, worth noting, El Nene's new 1-year deal has been signed and the club hasn't triggered the option as was initially discussed. Understand a drop in wage is part of the agreement, with El Nene more than happy to sign on fresh terms. So saving a bit of bob. Arsenal agree early deal as Mikel Arteta's side are front runners to beat Newcastle and Barcelona to sign in. Arsenal are reportedly well placed to sign Yuri Telemans, who is set to be out of contract at the end of the season. Okay. Football Insider reporting that Arsenal are well placed to agree on an early deal for Telemans in the coming months. Barcelona and Newcastle are interested in him, people. We'll have to see. Jacobs has said Yuri Telemans is also expected to leave Leicester this summer on a free transfer, barring a U-turn on signing a new deal. Leicester would love to keep him, but Telemans has been clear for over a year he doesn't want to extend. Arsenal still haven't ruled out signing him on a free transfer. They're reluctant to pay a transfer fee over the past 2 windows, but now the Belgian midfielder is a bargain. Newcastle also really like Telemans, and United are one to watch as well. I reckon he ends up at United, really, because they've got Ericsson, Casemiro. Who else is really certy there in midfield? Telemans could assert himself there, and playing under Ten Hag could be attractive as Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. And some reports say Juventus are onto him as well. For what it's worth, Vlahovic, the agent, blocked a move to Man United. Don't care about that. What's this got to do with Arsenal? I see Fatty likes us. What's this? Arsenal are also keeping tabs on Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan, who is set to move on at the end of his contract this summer. Fair enough. Whatever that is. Kieran Tierney's windfall for Celtic shrinks as Newcastle prepare Arsenal transfer escape route. Once again, Newcastle have a 15% sell-on clause, so selling him for 30 million don't really make sense because we owe Celtic bread. I don't care about what Hudson-Odoi's got to say. I don't know what that's there. I must have been laughing. Apparently, Matt Turner's been told to leave Arsenal this summer by Brad Friedel. Don't Brad Friedel work for Spurs? Crazy. And so is Pulisic, for what it's worth. I mean, Turner's not an idiot. You know your second choice to Ramsdale unless a miracle happens. I think that Matt, no matter what, even though Arsenal are an incredible club, has to find consistent football somewhere. This season, fine. But if he's not going to be the number one, he has to go. The only issue is that he's on a long-term contract. And if you're Arsenal, why would you let him go? You've got an incredible goalkeeper, an incredible guy, a great worker. You have one of the best number twos on the planet. Well, there you have it. You know, if he forces his hand, then fair enough. Apparently, we've still been linked with Rabiot, if you lot believe any of that, folks, as well. What is this? Apparently, Arsenal linked Inter Milan forward Lautaro Martinez is interested in a move to the Premier League this summer, says Peter Rook. So that's just not Arsenal, allegedly. But apparently, Football Insiders reported that Arsenal has revived their interest in the Argentina international Martinez ahead of the summer transfer window. Inter Milan are experiencing financial struggles at the moment and could be tempted to sell one of their prized assets for around 70 to 80 million to prospective bidders. The Gunners have already had contact with his entourage. We did one in before, and the player is said to be keen on moving to either Arsenal or indeed another elite Premier League side, despite having a contract at the San Siro until June 2026. Chelsea and Manchester United also believed to be keen on his services, potentially creating a transfer tug of war for his signature ahead of next season. So we'll have to see exactly how that develops, people. But it is what it is. Let me go over here. Change that. Let's see what goal.com transfer thingy is saying. Seen that with Telemans. We know El Nene has signed the new deal already, folks. Arsenal keeping tabs on Hoijlund. Forgive me for mispronunciation. Multiple Serie A clubs are interested in Balogun. First, it was multiple Prem teams. I mean, everyone's going to be alerted to a young man with that currently, rightly or wrongly, is behind Jesus and Nketiah in Arsenal's pecking order, contracted until 2025. So within the next 12 to 18 months, decision has to be made. And he's scoring goals and doing the business. Of course, a lot of people. But for what it's worth, a Spanish outlet reporting on a British player playing in France, fair enough, about Italian clubs. It said AC Milan, Napoli, Inter Milan, and Lazio are all interested in making a move. I mean, boy, Napoli, if you got that Osman, and that KK, and Balogun knocks some price off that, then we can talk. Big him up for scoring 15 goals in 23 games, people. Arsenal leading the race for Telemans. We've seen that. Tierney to decide his future at the end of the season. Arsenal are to provide 200k a week to Declan Rice, and we're leading the race to sign him. Manchester City are joining the race to sign Declan Rice. We're looking at Wahi of Montpellier, probably just scouting. Several Prem teams to go after Balogun, as we just said there. Newcastle, as we know, have an interest in Tierney. Allegedly, Arsenal are the favourites to sign Denzel Dumfries. Apart from us wanting a right back, I don't buy that. We've been linked with Jesper Limstrong again. We all know that we've been linked with Marcos Asensio and Victor Rug, who's playing over there in Brazil. We love Rashford, but that just seems like nonsense. So let's not get into that. And with that, that seems to be all of what the tabloids have to say today, people. Smash the like button if you haven't done such already. What are you guys saying? Don't forget, people, at 7:50, we're watching Leipzig City and Man United Barcelona, obviously on Thursday, people. And then on Saturday, we're watching Leicester Arsenal. Make sure you've turned on your notifications, you're smashing the like button, you're subscribing, and all of that good stuff, people. Appreciative to you lot who have done that. So yeah, man, what else are you lot saying? Left you out. Need that sort of big man striker. Nice to see when we switch it up some games with Jesus on the left or something when needed. Not massively relevant, but Lookman has been balling out this season for Atalanta. Appreciate you, Stylish. As he said, let's get to 100 likes. The transition from Partey Xhaka has to start happening this summer. You realize Union Berlin have been challenging for the title this season. Yeah, but bring them. I want that. Bravo, if we don't get Rice after all this talk. I mean, we've been here before. If you don't get Rice, get something else. I don't want to be waffling in September. We won't sign Rice. I'll be shocked if Edu can pull it off. Have some faith. I would take Livramento if we offloaded Ainsley / Tavares. John Fries is good, but a myth looks better in a back three, man. And he just looks a bit bandooly. Yes, DG, your show with Muamba yesterday was incredible and had my belly laughing. You guys going to do more of them, was great chemistry. Yeah, I mean, both of us a bit surprised by the positive reception, man. So, yeah, we'll get that cooking, James. Appreciate you for watching that and always supporting the content, man. Arsenal should sell Xhaka. He's performed at his best. Let's move on. With the Champions League, as much as I want to sign other players, I'm a bit wary, especially, getting rid of the El Nenes, the Xhakas, the Parteys. Not that we're getting rid of Jorginho, but contracted until 2024. We're going to need that experience. While for the large part, we've done this youth thing in the Premier League, and we need to keep doing it. in Europe, we do need experience because Champions League is another ball game. You know, there's been, you know, a couple of games and a couple of rough edges in our games. It will be exposed in Europe, and I do think we need experienced players. Experience doesn't have to be through age, and you actually have to be a good player, which I feel the names are. But I think we have to be a bit wary. Where can we buy a right wing to compete with Xhaka? Not a clue, man. If we don't get Rice, then get Pasta instead. We're saying as long as you get carbohydrates, you're all right. I hear it, man. Oh man, don't think Arsenal will get Rice, but be more than happy with Zubimendi. So with that, I think he's really good, and he's got a release clause. So you activate that release clause, get it done. Apparently, he wants to move to the Prem, so just get it done. Really, get it done, get it done, get it done. Just get someone really. As long as Arteta is, you know, knows how they're going to improve and how they can be utilized and all of that stuff, get it done, man. Simple as that. Just get it done.